Hello, my name is Ranger Candace Hart, and I'm one of the rangers at Richmond National Battlefield Park. I am here with you today to talk about the Battle of Drewry's Bluff, which happened on May 15th of 1862. Now I am here in the fort itself at Drewry's Bluff, overlooking the James River. Now this battle took place during the Civil War, 158 years ago. The fort that we're in is a Confederate fort. You see, what happened was 158 years ago, the country, the United States, split into two. You had the United States of America. Their president was Abraham Lincoln. 16th president, wore a tall hat. Everybody knows him. Abraham Lincoln was president of the United States of America. Well, the other half of the country was the Confederate States of America. Their president was Jefferson Davis. Now, Richmond, Virginia, our city just a few miles north of here, that was the capital of the Confederacy itself. Well, the Confederacy was worried. They were afraid that the James River here leads all the way to Richmond. What would stop the Union Army from sailing ships up this river to capture the Confederate capital? Well, on May 15th, 1862, the Confederates in this fort here, they had sunken obstructions in the river. They had taken a ship and sunk it in the water. They had built this fort, and they were watching closely on the river. On May 15th, coming around the bend, two ships sailing toward Richmond, flying the Union flag. Those two ships were special. They noticed as they looked out across the water, these were not wooden ships. They were ironclad ships. You see, during the Civil War, they realized that if you take a wooden boat and you hit it with a cannonball, the cannonball is going to tear through it, right? Well, during the Civil War, they took iron armor and they bolted it onto the sides of the ship. They called them ironclads. So instead of having a wooden boat, you now have an iron boat. So the cannonball hits it and then bounces off. It dents it instead of breaking it. Well, on May 15th, two ships, the Monitor and the Galena, sailed up the James River. They look like this. These are pictures of the two ships. Two very different ships, but both of them very new. One of them kind of looks like a normal ship. It's got sails, but the other one, that one is really weird. It sits low in the water. It's almost like a surfboard. It has a round turret on top where the guns are. This turret was special. It could move, it could rotate around. So instead of turning the ship to fire, they could turn the guns to fire. This ship was called the Monitor, and it was a brand new advanced ship built during the Civil War. The Monitor and the Galena sailed up that river, and the battle began as the fort and the ships fired on each other. Now, what would you think it would be like to be on those ships during the battle? Out here in this nice day, we've got fresh, good air. It's beautiful out here today. But during the ships, it was a totally different story. Even though you're on this advanced ship made of iron and you're very well protected, the interior of the ship, they said, was miserable. The sailors themselves, during the battle, were in 140-degree temperatures. From the heat of the guns and the heat of the engines. They were also wearing uniforms made of wool, just like this one. So the soldiers very quickly were getting heat exhaustion. Not only that, as they were firing the guns on the ship, the powder from all the smoke and the powder from the coal that ran the engines all filled into the ship. The ventilation was terrible. They didn't have any clean air. The soldiers were suffocating on the ship as they were fighting in that battle. Now, some of those that were on the ship were actually youngsters, boys, ages 10 to 14. They were called powder monkeys. Powder monkeys were named that because, kind of like monkeys climbing through the trees, powder boys were young and agile and quick, and they could move through the cluttered, cramped ships. And they could go down into the bottoms of the ship, get powder, and bring it up to the guns themselves. So how would you feel? How would you like to be one of those powder monkeys on one of these ships. The 140-degree temperatures, the toxic air that they were breathing. Sometimes they would have to sleep outside. It was so hot in the ships. If you get a chance, come on out here and take a look at Drewry's Bluff and see where all this happened. And then join us next time. We will create our own ironclad out of stuff that we can find in our own homes. Thank you and have a good day.